Right now, inside the freezer aisles of almost every grocery store in America, millions of families are buying something they believe is simple, wholesome, and familiar. A convenient bag of frozen chicken nuggets. It seems like a safe choice. Quick protein for the kids, an easy weeknight meal, a staple of modern comfort food. But when you look past the colorful packaging and the bold promises printed on the front, a very different picture emerges. Behind the glowing freezer doors lies a massive industrial quiet shift. Over the last 4 decades, the standard frozen chicken nugget transformed from a piece of actual chicken into one of the most sophisticated, processed food engineering projects on the planet. Out of 10 major frozen chicken nugget brands sitting on supermarket shelves today, independent component breakdowns and ingredient analysis reveal that only 3 are made of genuine whole-muscled chicken breast meat. The other 7 rely on a complex matrix of mechanically separated meat paste, soy protein extenders, starch binders, sodium phosphates, and heavy breading, designed to mimic the texture of muscle tissue. To understand how we reach this point, you have to look at what actually happens in modern commercial poultry processing. In any standard poultry processing facility, whole chicken breasts and tenderloins are removed first. These cuts command the highest price per pound as fresh meat. What remains on the carcass is a mixture of residual rib meat, connective tissue, skin, and trim. Decades ago, this secondary material was difficult to monetize. That was until mechanical separation technology changed the economics of the meat industry forever. High-pressure mechanical systems strip every fraction of edible tissue from the bone, creating a fine, uniform pink paste. By itself, this tissue lacks the structural integrity, bite, and juiciness of real chicken breast. To fix that, food engineering relies on functional additives. Sodium phosphates force the tissue to hold on to injected water, increasing the weight of the product. Modified cornstarch and wheat gluten create a synthetic network that holds the moisture in place during freezing. Breading and batter make up an enormous percentage of the total finished weight. Acting as a thick shell around a highly processed center, when you bite into it, the crunch of the fried batter tricks your brain into thinking you are eating solid meat. Even when the actual meat content inside is minimal. Starting at number 10 on our list is a budget household brand found in almost every discount retail freezer across the country. Decades ago, this brand built its reputation on offering affordable, accessible meals for busy working families. For generations, consumers trusted the name because it represented dependable, straightforward food. Today, millions of parents buy these red and blue bags under the assumption that they are feeding their children basic breaded chicken. But when you analyze the ingredient deck on the back of the bag, the story changes completely. The primary meat ingredient is listed as mechanically separated chicken combined with water, add isolated soy protein, and modified food starch. Mechanically separated chicken is not whole muscle. It is a paste produced by forcing bones and tissue through a high-pressure sieve. Because this tissue loses its natural cellular structure during processing, soy protein and starch are added to rebuild the texture so it can be shaped into uniform nuggets. The breading on this product accounts for over 40% of its total weight. What you are buying is not pieces of chicken lightly coated in flour, but rather a soy and starch dough matrix wrapped in thick batter. The reputation of the brand earned the public trust, but the actual recipe quietly evolved into a low-cost industrial creation. At number 9, we find a popular fast food licensed retail brand. This brand leveraged the immense popularity of drive-through dining to enter the home freezer market. Consumers buy these bags expecting to recreate the exact fast food experience at home, believing they are paying for high-quality commercial chicken. The marketing focuses heavily on flavor and convenience, promising authentic restaurant taste right out of your oven. However, the reality hidden in the fine print tells a story driven by cost efficiency. To maintain profitability at retail prices, the manufacturer utilizes chopped and formed chicken meat blended with rehydrated chicken skin and binding agents. Chicken skin provides fat and flavor, but it also replaces lean protein with cheaper industrial lipids. To ensure the meat mixture does not shrink or lose moisture during factory pre-frying, the formula relies on sodium triphosphate. This chemical compound alters the muscle proteins, allowing them to absorb and retain large volumes of added water. When cooked, the water boils off slightly. leaving behind a soft, spongy interior that lacks the natural fiber structure of real meat. The marketing sold the excitement of the restaurant drive-thru, but the label reveals a product engineered for maximum yield and minimum meat density. Moving to number 8, we examine a line of kids' novelty chicken nuggets, shaped like animals and dinosaurs. This brand dominates the toddler and young child demographic. Parents buy these products because they are visually fun, it's easy to prepare, and heavily marketed as a quick source of protein for picky eaters. The colorful packaging frequently highlights phrases like "made with white meat," giving parents the impression of a nutritious, wholesome protein choice. But there is a crucial regulatory distinction between made with white meat and made with whole muscle white meat. Under federal labeling guidelines, chopped and restructured meat paste made from white meat trimmings qualifies for that claim, even if it has been broken down, diluted, and recombined with non-meat binders. In this specific product, the white meat content is combined with sodium lactate, wheat starch, and dried yeast extract. The sodium levels per serving are remarkably high for a product aimed at small children. It's designed primarily to enhance flavor profiles and act as a preservative. The playful shapes are created by extruding the emulsified meat paste through industrial dyes before sending them through a continuous deep-fry conveyor belt. The packaging built a fun, trust-filled image for families, while the factory floor produced a heavily modified starch meat blend. Number 7 brings us to one of the most widely sold store-brand generic frozen nuggets in the nation. Store brands have exploded in popularity as inflation pushes shoppers toward lower-cost alternatives. Most consumers assume store brands are simply name-brand chicken packaged under a private label at a lower price point. In some food categories, that is true, but in frozen poultry, private label formulations often cut costs even deeper. Independent lab teardowns and label audits show that this product relies heavily on mechanically tenderized chicken trim combined with a water solution that makes up over 15% of the total raw product weight. To keep that added water bound inside the nugget during freezing and reheating, the formula uses a combination of xanthan gum and sodium phosphate. Furthermore, the breading mix includes yellow corn flour, bleached wheat flour, and artificial colors to create an intense golden yellow appearance that tricks the eyes into anticipating rich, crispy quality. When you strip away the breading, the interior meat possesses no distinct grain or muscle fibers, resembling a dense gel rather than actual poultry. The lower price tag seems like a smart financial choice, but the label confirms you are paying for water, starch, and additives disguised as protein. At number 6 is a classic diner and value line brand found in warehouse clubs and regional supermarkets. It's known for large bulk packaging. This brand appeals to large families and budget-conscious buyers seeking bulk protein. The packaging features imagery of farm-fresh poultry and countryside aesthetic. Tapping into nostalgic ideas of traditional American farming, buyers naturally assume they are purchasing solid chicken cutlets cut into bite-sized portions. The reality, however, is a classic example of economic formulation. The meat matrix in these bulk nuggets is created using mechanically separated poultry mixed with textured vegetable protein. Textured vegetable protein, derived from soybeans, is used to extend meat products because it absorbs water and mimics the feel of ground meat at a fraction of the cost. The product is then flash-fried in hydrogenated soybean oil, adding trans fats and synthetic preservatives like TBHQ to prolong shelf life in commercial freezers. While the front of the box promises hearty family nourishment, the ingredient list reveals a heavily extended product where plant proteins and synthetic preservatives carry the weight of the meal. Number 5 on our list is a household brand that dominated mid-century American dinner tables. For generations, this name was synonymous with frozen home convenience. Millions of consumers continue to buy it today, purely out of habit, assuming the product has remained unchanged since their childhood. But over the last 2 decades, corporate supply chain optimizations subtly altered the formulation to offset rising raw material costs. What was once a simple breaded chicken breast cutlet has been transformed into a restructured paste product. The current recipe uses finely ground chicken meat mixed with soy flour, sodium phosphate, and high-protein whey powder. The percentage of actual chicken muscle tissue per nugget has dropped significantly compared to historic standards. replaced by functional fillers that maintain volume while reducing raw meat requirements. The memory of quality kept the brand alive in consumer minds. But the modern recipe is an entirely different product than the one that built its original reputation. At number 4, we come to a brand that uses sophisticated health halo marketing. The packaging features muted earth tones, images of green fields, and prominent claims, such as all-natural and minimalist design elements. Consumers routinely pay a premium price for this brand, believing they are making a significantly healthier choice for their families and avoiding industrial processing. But in the food industry, the legal definition of all-natural simply means the product contains no artificial ingredients or added color and is minimally processed. It does not mean the nugget is made from whole muscle chicken breast. When you examine the breakdown of this premium-priced nugget, the interior is still a chopped, formed, and restructured meat slurry blended with potato starch and rice flour. While it avoids artificial preservatives, the processing technique remains essentially identical to cheaper mass-market options. The consumer pays double the price, expecting real chicken pieces, but receives the same restructured meat paste wrapped in a cleaner-looking marketing story. That leaves us with the final 3 brands on our list. These are the only 3 products out of the 10 evaluated that are made from actual real chicken. The difference between these top 3 and the previous 7 is immediate, structural, and visually unmistakable. Taking the number 3 spot among the top-tier products is an independent brand that built its entire business model on radical ingredient transparency. When you cut open one of these nuggets, you do not find a smooth, uniform, paste-like interior. Instead, you see real, distinct muscle fibers that pull apart naturally along the grain of the meat. That is because this brand uses whole chicken breast fillet pieces, sliced directly from the muscle. Without mechanical separation, grinding, or restructuring, there are no soy isolates, no textured vegetable proteins, and no sodium phosphate solutions injected into the meat to artificially boost weight. The breading is thin, light, and consists of basic wheat flour, salt, and natural spices, accounting for less than 20% of the total product weight. The company publishes its full sourcing practices, utilizing humanely raised antibiotic-free poultry from audited farm networks. It costs slightly more per ounce, but every cent goes toward actual protein rather than engineered fillers and water retention agents. At number 2 is an organic Pioneer brand available in most major natural food chains and mainstream supermarkets. This brand takes transparency a step further by using exclusively air-chilled whole chicken breast pieces. In standard poultry processing, chickens are chilled in massive water baths, causing the meat to absorb excess liquid that dilutes flavor and inflates weight. Air chilling cools the meat using circulating cold air, preserving the natural density and flavor of the chicken muscle without added water weight. The ingredient deck on this product is exceptionally short and easy to read. Whole chicken breast, organic wheat flour, sea salt, organic garlic powder, and organic sunflower oil for light frying. There are 0 starches, 0 gums, and 0 synthetic preservatives. When you bite into this nugget, the texture is identical to a home-prepared piece of cooked chicken breast because that is precisely what it is. The brand proved that convenience food does not require industrial re-engineering to taste good and store well. Finally, occupying the number 1 spot for the highest quality frozen chicken nugget on the market is a pasture-raised, regional brand that has expanded nationwide. This product represents the absolute gold standard of transparency and quality in the frozen meat category. The nuggets are made exclusively from hand-cut, whole muscle pasture-raised chicken breast meat. The chickens are raised on regenerative farms with full access to outdoor pastures, resulting in a higher natural nutrient density and superior muscle texture. The company does not use any additives, chemical phosphates, or starch binders whatsoever. The coating is made from a simple gluten-free blend of chickpea flour and spices, lightly flash-fried in clean avocado oil, rather than highly refined seed oils or hydrogenated fats. When tested, the protein content per serving far exceeds any other brand on the market, while the sodium and carbohydrate levels remain drastically lower. The label provides direct traceability, allowing consumers to see the exact network of farms where the poultry was raised. It is real chicken, prepared simply, frozen at peak freshness, and delivered without industrial compromise. When you step back and look at the entire frozen food section, the lesson becomes clear. Price tags and colorful claims on the front of a box are designed to sell an idea, not to inform you of reality. Words like natural, classic, or family favorite carry no legal guarantee of real meat quality. The real truth is always found on the back of the package in the small print of the ingredient list. Look for simple phrases like whole chicken breast fillet. Avoid products that list mechanically separated chicken, isolated soy protein, sodium phosphate, or modified food starch near the top of the deck. By taking 10 seconds to read past the marketing, you take complete control over what you are actually bringing home to your kitchen table. The choice isn't about avoiding frozen food altogether, but about knowing the difference between engineered industrial convenience and real nourishing food.